Howdy ho, stampers. Welcome back to my studio. This is Deb Valder, and I always love having you stop by for some craftiness. And today we're going to show you how to do this beautiful lighthouse. It's a multi-step stamp, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We're going to get started right away. It takes very little time to do, but it is just so striking. I just want to show you some of the detail on that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So pretty, and it's so easy. But this time with our multi-layer stamping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the reverse part of it. So in the past videos that I've shown you, I've actually started with the number 1 stamp. Well, today we're going to start with the very last stamp and work our way forward. Why do I do that? Because some of these colors are just so light you can't see to actually do the layering. So we're going to do it in reverse, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with our stamp set, and it is this a beautiful lighthouse right here. All right, and we're going to start by doing our 1, 2, 3, 4. If you haven't watched my basic video on kitchen sink stamps, you really need to see this, because you want to make sure that you put your images on the right side of your sheet, and there's some other really fantastic elements that are in there that you need to know before you start using your stamps. So normally I would start with my step 1, but for this one I'm going to start with step 2. And in this set you also have like the birds that are in here. You also have a smaller one and some of the most fantastic stamp sets ever, or stamps. There's a little lighthouse. There's the sand dunes that we're going to use. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to take let's take this off here. And we're going to start with the number 4 as opposed to the number 1. All right, so we're going to take that, and it just depends on your images and what you're actually working on, what piece you're working on. So for me, like I said, this one was very, I just needed to have the darker one first. So we're going to take and do it kind of in reverse. All right, I can always trim this down afterwards if I don't like the positions of these. Okay, all right, let's grab our Wow ink first, and I use the Wow ink, as you know, for 2 reasons. So it doesn't make it as sticky, and also so that it's easier to clean up. All right, let me get my cleaner in here, and we're just going to start with the black. I want to make sure I get good coverage. I'll do it one more time. That's why I love using this MISTI, because it's so much easier to position the stamps. Oh, so very pretty. All right, so we're done with number 1. This is a pretty fast card. We're going to go to our number 3. So sorry, that was number 4. So we're going to now go to number 3. And remember to have your little cheat sheet out so that you know what to line up where. So I'm doing number 4. Now I'm going to number 3. But pretty much on all of these, we're going to line up that little dot on the top and that little dot right there. But I also look for the empty spaces. Let me just show you what I mean. So it's designed side down, and what I mean by that is the edges that are rough are going to be the ones that are down, and what I'm lining up is that little point on the top, and I'm looking for any empty spaces. So I'm looking for that little square right there. I'm looking for my rooftop here. So I just kind of push it from side to side and see if I'm on track here. Looks like I'm doing pretty good. Lay it down. We're going to go with the next lighter color. Instead of going light to dark, we're going dark to light. All right, so let's carefully pick that up. Let's make sure it's still in line with that. Grab my Wow ink. Now, if I was doing 4 or 5 of these, which I normally do, but if I was doing 4 or 5 of these, what I would do is I wouldn't have to do the Wow ink in between. All right, so now we're going to ink it up with our next light or darker color. Look at that. Look at how it's just building the images. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so that's that one. Let's clean her off. Go to my number 2. And remember, we're getting lighter in color as far as the shadows go. So I'm going to line up the top piece. I'm going to line up my rooftops. There we go. Make sure this is intact and grab my ink. Starting with my Wow ink. And going with my lighter ink right here. And you can make these colors if you want to. You don't have to do what I'm doing as far as the black and the white. Look at that. Oh my goodness, the color is coming out so, so, so pretty. All right, so there's that one. And then let's clean this little guy off. And we're going to go to number 1. Now, number 1 is our base. Make sure you've got it going with the rough side down. And again, lining up my little point on the top. And I think we're good right there. Now, this is the lightest of all the colors, so you're going to see some change. Look at this. Now watch how this just fills everything in. That is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's clean this off and let's get to the sand dunes. Now, you see what I'm saying? This is such a fast card. You can do these so quickly. But what I'm saying is, if you're doing this at home, have, 5 or 10 of these sheets of paper. Just keep flipping them out. Okay, we did number 1s. Now we did number 4s. Now we did number 3s, and then we do number 2s. Just crank them out there. Don't put any sentiment on it. Don't put any words, anything on there to make it like in a hole. You just want to make sure that you have these, and then when you're ready, take out your sentiment and personalize it. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to work on the sand dunes. Super easy. Super, super easy. Now this one I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to start with the number 1, and we're going to go light to dark. All right, so let's just find out where we want our little sand dunes, okay? So this I'm going to have to move because our sand dunes are bigger than, let's do it up here. All right, so let's see. I'm going to take, and I kind of overlap this one just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's add our magnet up there. Add this down here. Grab our Wow ink. Like I said, this time I'm going light to dark. And you can do whatever you feel most comfortable with. Like I said, the Lighthouse, the first one was so light, I was having a really hard time lining it up. So I decided to try dark to light, and it worked out absolutely perfect. Ta-da! Beautiful. Now we're going to go to our number 2, and we're going to line up this little piece right up here. And we're going to go to the next darker color. Look at that, so pretty. Okay. And our number 3. And our last one is going to be our number 4, and that's going to have all the detail into it. There we go. Isn't that awesome? So, because I didn't use the whole thing, you know, that little white spot, I want to show you a trick that I do. I'm going to grab one of my, this is just an old brush that I have, and I just keep it around for things that, like this, that I just don't care about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to just pick up a little bit of my ink, and I'm just going to fill in just a little bit here and there. All right, I just don't like that white spot. If you did the whole entire piece, you would see that that white spot definitely needed to be white, but because I'm only using part of it, it just stands out in my mind. But there we are with the rest of it, and isn't it absolutely gorgeous? So now we have, whoops, let me just fill in this little piece right here too. I could have brought that up just a little bit higher, but do you see how I'm bringing it all together? There we go. Oh my gosh, that is so very, very pretty. So now what we're going to do is finish off the rest of it. So we're done with, oh no, we got to do our birds. All right, so let's take and put this back down here, and we're going to work on our birds. Okay, I think I'll do it this way. That's the beauty of this MISTI, is that you can do it whatever way you need to. So I'm just going to take and work on my birds now. So let's clean this off. Put this one away and grab the birds. Now the birds are kind of the same way. You might want to work from your darker color to your lighter color. So it's a little bit hard to see on this one, but trust me, this is the upper wing right here. That's the upper wing. And for this one, it doesn't really matter where you have it, because I'm not explaining this very well. It doesn't matter where you have it because he's just flying in the air. All right, so for this one right here, we're going to go to, there's 3 pieces to it. So we're going to go and do the third darkest color. And that is the tips on his wings. Okay, I know it looks kind of funny because you really can't see. I just, with these, because they're so very, very light, I like doing them dark to light. So now we're going to go with our number 2 and line up our number 2. And we're just going to line up these wings right here. Okay. So I want to make sure that that tip is covered, and I want to make sure that these are surrounded up on the top. All right, so that's looking good. We're going to go to the next lighter color. So pretty. All right, and then we're going to go to the last color, which is the base color. And that's the most solid piece. All right, and here's the lighter one. Okay, and this just covers up the whole thing. So just make sure you've got both your birds covered. Make sure that both of your wings are covered. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. I just want to show you up close. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now to bring all of this together, what we're going to do is do some of our clouds. Whoops, let's clean this and put this little guy away so we don't lose him. If you ever come up missing with any of your pieces, always check back into your MISTI and make sure you haven't left them, because I've done that before, but it was an easy find. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is to do our clouds. All right, so I'm using our little cloud stencil right here, or not stencil, but die cut. And what I do is I cut out a bunch of these. So there's the clouds. I just cut out a bunch of these with scrap paper, and you really kind of want to use like typing paper because it's thinner and it works a little bit better. So I just cut out a bunch of those. I keep them in here. I'm going to use my acetate sheet to show you what I do after I'm all done with that. So now what I'm going to do is to take and switch out my my runner, okay? And this is the beauty of our tape, is that we can actually take and switch them out and not have to use up the whole roll before we switch them out. So this is the dots repositionable one. I call it the green one. And what I'm going to do is just put some on here so that I can keep moving the cloud around. All right. So then all I have to do is to take this and bring it back, putting in this one. I want you to be very careful. If you drop this, these two break. If they do, you just glue it back on because you need that for these. I always start with the big one and then just find the middle one, and there you go. Boom. I love our tape runner. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to make some clouds. So let's bring in our handy dandy Make Art station here, okay? So I'm just going to take and put this right down here at the end to hold it because this is magnetic and this is repositionable, okay? So we can bring it up, we can bring it down. And now what I'm going to do is to bring in some of my distressed oxide inks. This one is the Stormy Sky, found in the shop. And we're just going to make some beautiful clouds. All right, so I'm just going to do this very lightly. Even though it doesn't look like it's showing up, it really is. All right, and then I'll take it off and move it. Oh, no, you know what I need to do? I do need to put a mask on this, and I do have masks made, so let's just grab those. What I do is I make the masks, and I put them on the back of my sheet. And again, I used my repositionable tape. And you just mask this off. If you're very careful, you don't even have to do that, but I like to do that. And then we're just going to take and just be careful of the bird, okay? I'm not going to get too close to him, but okay, so there's that. And you're just going to take and position it every different way and just do the top of it so it's we still have some white showing through, and do that all the way down. That's the beauty of this repositionable tape. All right, and depending on what color you use, you can have it look stormy. And I'm just going to do it all the way down. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to do it like directly down. You see how I'm kind of turning it a little bit? I could even use some of the smaller ones if I wanted to. Again, if you're doing a bunch of these, it just goes so fast. Remember not to put any sentiment on your saying, on your piece, and you're good to go. There we go. Oh my goodness, look at how pretty that looks. Whoops, let's grab our sand eraser because that takes everything off. There we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness, how pretty, pretty, pretty that is. Look it. Oh, I love it. Okay, so now what we have to do is our background. All right, so this piece right here is already all done. Now we're going to work on our background. Now what I'll do with this is I will save it to, I have a little acetate sheet here that I had left over. I'll save that, stick it inside my envelope, and it's good to go for the next time. Isn't that awesome? Whoops, just got to get it in there straight. This goes back onto my sheet right here. Let me just show you. And that goes back into my envelope. So I have my, see, I do a couple of them if I'm doing them. What I do is I just stamp one and double or triple up the typing paper and then cut them out, and I've got a whole bunch of them. All right. So they're all ready to go when you're ready for your next one. So now what we have to do is the background. So let's move this out of the way. We're going to bring in another tool that we have in the shop, and that's our Press Advance. All right, so on the back of this is going to be our little background stamp, okay? And this one is called Fishing Net. So we're going to take the fishing net and put it right onto our paper right here. I'm going to bring in some scrap paper over here to stamp on. Okay, and let's see, I think I'll use a medium brown. I'm not sure what brown I used on that one, but I'm going to use a medium brown here. Okay, grab my paper bag paper. That's the name of it, paper bag. Okay, I'm going to grab both of these and just stamp. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that's our background, but now what we need to do is to distress it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is to bring this in here. I don't need that. I'm going to bring this in here, and I'm going to bring in the same color ink. I'm going to bring in my brown brush. Okay, and then just distress it a little bit on the sides. There we go, just to give it a little bit of depth to it. There, good. Now it doesn't look like a paper bag. Okay, so let's put the top back on this ink, and I think we're ready to put it together. So let's bring this back in here like this. Take that out of there. We'll bring in all of our layering pieces, and I was going to do a bird on the inside. Well, that I had the bird out, but I'll do that. So what I'm going to do is on the inside of this, before I add this piece, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a bird on the inside of it. So I'll show it to you in the blog post, okay? So now what we're going to do is just add all of our pieces. So I went back to my permanent white tape runner. There are 4 different tape runner styles. And check them out in the shop. Teaspoon of Fun. Okay, so we have that down there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what I forgot to do was to add our string. So I'm just going to take some of my twine and wrap it around a couple times. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right, cut that off and tie it. So let's just kind of put it together. I want to tie it over on this side, just in a knot. There we go. All right, and then we're just going to kind of move these around just a little bit. There. All right, trim these off. And now we can start layering. So I'm going to take this beautiful piece. I'm going to do regular tape adhesive onto this layer. And what I did as far as colors go, I just brought in the grays from here to my base card and to into my layer right here, and then I brought in the paper bag into the little sand dunes right here. So now because I have something underneath here, it's much better to add your foam squares to make it so it pops up. All right, so what I'm looking for is I could either use my foam tape, which I might do because they're long. So I'm just going to bring in my black foam tape. Remember I told you always need black and white. There's times when you need to use the black one, and there's sometimes when you need to use the white one. All right, and because I'm using darker colored paper here, I'm going to use the black. And whenever I have anything left over, I just put it on here. And then when I need a smaller piece, it's already there and I didn't waste anything. You know me, I'm always trying to save as much as I can. Alrighty, so let's add that to this right here. So very pretty. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love it. I absolutely love it. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube videos and click on the little bell so that you will get instant notification when we post another one. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and share this with your friends. I hope you enjoyed our post today. It is absolutely gorgeous. You take care, have a great day, and I hope I helped you with a few little tips. Take care.